birthday. Yes, Clan has just been released. So our book club chat today is, of course, all about Clan. How about I read you the inside flap? And by the way, I'm so excited this is hardcover. Part survival story, part animal-human friendship story, part redemption story. Clan follows the journey of Atlatl and the saber-toothed cub he rescues from a dire wolf attack. Injured as a child, Atlatl dreams one day of earning his father's respect as a hunter, but when Atlatl brings the young saber-tooth to his clan, it leads to a devastating moment of torn loyalties between Atlatl and his father, a moment that'll change their lives forever. Then an epic disaster strikes, and suddenly Atlatl has to rely on wits, ingenuity, and bravery to face his biggest foe yet and try to save what remains of the clan. That's what it's about. You think I'm having any fun talking about Clan with you guys today? Sorry, you story ninjas. Now let's have a little excerpt straight from the back cover. This beast had a skull as wide as a man's chest, with a short snout and small nearsighted eyes. On all four legs, the short face had shoulders taller than Atlatl, standing on his tiptoes. It was the largest predator that humans ever faced. The bear put one exploratory front paw into the water, then a second paw. It was so close now that Atlatl could have reached out and tapped its nose. Atlatl kept still. It was his only chance. So now let's have a book club chat about Clan on the release. Brand new, just out. Did I mention it's out? Yeah, birthday. Amazon.ca, Amazon.com, chapters, Barnes & Noble. It is finally out. I'm putting it down for a moment. So this story began like every other story with an idea. Pretty simple idea. What would it be like to live in Ice Age times? Because think about it. None of the modern clothing, no guns, no rifles, no sharp knives. Here's what I think's amazing about humans living 13 or 14,000 years ago. They knew the material around them. They knew what type of stone would chip perfectly. It's called obsidian. And by the way, when you chip it to a razor's edge, it is actually sharper than a surgeon's scalpel. The only difference is that it loses its sharpness a lot more quickly. So back then you could have it really, really sharp. It would get dull as you used it. You'd have to chip it more, and pretty soon you'd have chipped it away down to nothing, and you'd need to start all over. So that's one of their tools. How do you start fires back then? Took a lot of research to get that. Clothing, sewing, all of that stuff was so much fun to research, but as an idea, it still needed a story. So let's go to the back cover. I'd love to run you through some of this and hopefully not give you very many spoilers. Injured as a child. Okay, Atlatl has basically a broken knee, shattered knee when he was a little boy. Since then, he can't walk properly, can't run, and in fact, he dreams, now I'm reading from the front cover, he dreams one day of earning his father's respect as a hunter. Because in his clan, Atlatl believes the only way that someone will respect him is if he's good at hunting. Now, you'll probably discover and probably not be surprised when I say, no. If your self-esteem is based on your accomplishments, that's pretty shallow. Right, our relationships are built on how we interact with other people, our kindness. I know I'm sounding like a dad. Wait, because I am a dad. But it's too easy to believe that who you are is determined by what you accomplish. And Atlatl falls into that trap. He's like, if I could just prove I was a great hunter, everybody would love and accept me. No, that shouldn't be your motivation. Oh, let's see. Injured as a child. He dreams of one day earning his father's respect. So that explains his injury and his motivation. When he brings a young saber-tooth to his clan, you know what was fun to research? How wolves became dogs, how they became animals at outlying the camps and looking for scraps to actually living in camps and warning of other predators, and then actually becoming friends and hunters and working with humans. So a saber-tooth, well, first of all, it's not strictly a tiger. All I could go on with that is what we know about lions and tigers today. And tigers as cubs, yeah, they can form friendships with us. Tigers as grown-ups, not so much. They just don't have the domesticity wired into them. Literally, domesticity is wired into dogs, into their DNA. So tigers as grown-ups, here's what was sad for me as I began the story. I knew that they could be friends while the saber-toothed cub was young enough, but sooner or later, they might have to grow separate as cub grows older. Did I mention it was kind of sad? Here's my spoiler. If you've ever read one of my favorite stories, Fred Gibson wrote Old Yeller. Takes place a long time ago. It has the saddest but sweetest ending. I remember when I was a story ninja your age, I got to the ending and I cried my eyes out. I'm not saying you'll cry your eyes out with this, but I was definitely inspired by that. So he finds a saber-toothed cub. I hope you love the opening chapters where it happens. But you know that's going to happen, right? You're going into the story going, yeah, they're going to become friends. How does he meet them? You'll find out. But now you bring this thing back to the clan. What's going to happen? Who's going to make decisions on whether you can take a predator into the clan? And the chain of events that allows it happens, let me see. It leads to a devastating moment of torn loyalties between Atlatl and his father. A moment that will change their lives forever. We have a legal system. Pretty complicated one. Hundreds of years of written documents of judges, summaries that we build our laws upon. All I could do is speculate how the legal system worked 14,000 years ago. I hope you enjoy that speculation, because Atlatl and Cub get called up before the elders, and that leads to a moment of torn loyalties. And I think how it shakes out will surprise you. Epic disaster. We are talking the biggest flood ever recorded in history. Well, humans weren't around to record it. We can only understand the flood based on geographical evidence in eastern Washington state. Yeah, there used to be a lake called Lake Missoula. I don't want to tell you much else. If you're going to Google it, fine. But when the dam burst, it was like the force of 10 Amazon rivers being released all at once. What if you were downstream from that? Yeah, we're calling that an epic disaster. Atlatl has to rely on wits, ingenuity. How's that for dramatic? Ingenuity. I was at the museum in New York. You know the one from the movie Night at the Museum? And I saw a weapon up there. This is kind of a spoiler. The weapon is called an Atlatl. And I decided to reverse it. I decided Atlatl would invent the weapon that would be named after him. So if my story were true, you would now know how the Atlatl got named the Atlatl. That's all I'm going to tell you about that for so far. But there's the ingenuity. Wits and bravery. You know the bear that I was reading about at the back? It was a fun scene to daydream. Atlatl's trapping some fish. You'll have to read the story to find out how he does it. And as he's doing that, a short-faced bear shows up. And we are talking these bears dwarfed today's grizzly bears. Yeah. And Atlatl's only hope is to hide so far underwater that the bear can't scent him. And that's the moment where they're really, really close together. And the thing that rescues Atlatl from the bear, just as the bear is about to discover him, is... Yeah, right. I'm going to tell you that. But they're going to have another encounter. There will be some bravery involved. That is the story. And if you know much about the Ice Age, it is the era of megafauna. Scientists don't really know why, but there were monstrous animals. There were beavers the size of bears. This was an age where in North America there were camels, there were lions, cheetahs, there were huge bears, there were dire wolves. Oh yeah, they're going to show up, you can bet that. There were mammoths, and there were giant birds that we may now know as thunderbirds. Have I teased you enough with clan? I sure hope so. I'm going to say goodbye for now, and if there are any comments, I will happily deal with them via chat. So thanks for hanging in there and letting me talk about clan with you. And one last time, if you like it, go ahead, check out some of the samples. You can get it as an ebook. Download the sample, see if you like the first few chapters.